Hello and welcome to the Central Florida Consortium of Private School Counselors College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution and will be around for the entire session to answer any questions. My name is Jenny and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. However, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/centralflorida. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, Regis College.
Good evening. My name is Vicki Rosa. I am our Director for Undergraduate Admission at Regis College. I am going to share my presentation with you. Okay, so a little bit about Regis College. We are a small private Catholic institution located in Weston, Massachusetts. To give you some idea of that, we are 12 miles west of Boston. We utilize Boston as much as we can when it comes to our internships, our clinical work, any kind of outside of the classroom component that students are fulfilling during their time at Regis. We are a 4-school university. We are heavily focused within the health sciences. We are most known for our nursing program. That makes up about a third of our student body. But generally speaking, our School of Health Sciences is where a lot of our students are focusing. Some of the bigger programs being our dental hygiene program, our diagnostic medical sonography program, as well as our psychology program. One thing to note about all of our health science majors is they all pair directly with a graduate program. So a lot of these programs can be done as a 4+1, obtaining both your bachelor's and your master's degree in that 5-year time period. All of our programs that fall within the health sciences and certainly within nursing have that clinical component. That's where we are sending students really to all of the major hospitals in the Boston and greater Boston area. So as I said, we utilize our location to the city really as much as we can. Probably the fastest growing school for us is our School for Business and Communication. It has fewer majors than our School of Health Sciences. But within the past 2 years alone, we have added majors like supply chain management, digital marketing, marketing and communication. Again, a lot of the students within this school are completing at least one internship, and we are utilizing Boston as much as we can for that as well. Our Young School of Nursing, as I said, is our largest program on campus. So aside from our on-campus labs and simulation center, students are doing that clinical work in the Boston hospitals. We are a nationally recognized program, and being situated really in the heart of kind of the healthcare hub in New England, and certainly Boston plays a huge role in that. Lastly, our School of Arts and Sciences. So every student is going to take classes within the school. So this is where our core program lives. Any general education classes that students are taking kind of alongside of any of these majors are going to be fulfilling classes within this program. Students can come to Regis undecided. You have until the end of your sophomore year to make a decision on what you would like to study. For those interested in education, we do have our Regis Children's Center as well. So we have students interning right on campus for those looking for that early childhood education experience. One of the largest benefits of a Regis education included within a student's tuition is you are assigned both an academic advisor and an academic coach when you start with us. So that advisor is there to get you from start to finish with the classes that you're taking, making sure that you're fulfilling that degree in the right amount of time. That academic coach is somebody there for you to check in with on things like time management, study skills. If you're coming in as a student athlete, this is a great resource when you're in season and you have a big game coming up, but it's also your first clinical rotation in the nursing program. All of these resources are there for you. Every student is assigned an academic coach when they start at Regis. You're able to utilize our writing center peer tutoring. And as I said, there are no additional fees for any of these services offered at the school. Very new to Regis, I would say in the past year or so, are some 3-year degree opportunities. So some of our majors are also offered as a 3-year bachelor's degree. Programs like psychology and social work and business management, you can fulfill in a traditional 4-year time period, or they can be accelerated programs where you're taking some courses over the summer and they can be done in a 3-year time period. Understanding that cost, the financial accessibility of a school plays a huge role in a student's decision. These are some of our larger programs that do provide up to $54,000 in cost savings. We have over 30 clubs and organizations on our campus. And if you are involved in something in your school that is not offered at Regis at the moment, that is something you can start. It's working with our Student Government Association to be able to get a club started that maybe you were involved with and want to bring to the Regis campus. One of the benefits about being a smaller school is we do have that tight-knit community. You're able to get to know students very quickly, and you're able to kind of become a student leader in that way very quickly. We are Division III when it comes to athletics. We have 20 varsity sports teams. And athletics is a huge part of who we are. About a third of our student body are student athletes, and you can be recruited through the admission process by the head coach, or there's certainly opportunities to be a walk-on athlete when you arrive to Regis. We also offer some intramural sports, and those are just based on the interests of our students, so tend to change semester by semester with the offerings of those. But whether you are an athlete or just a fan, being a part of the Regis Pride the athletics will be a big part of your experience. There are some opportunities to study abroad at Regis, and really any student, regardless of your major, even those with nursing and that clinical component, are able to study abroad. So we offer those semester-long experiences for those who are interested in that kind of that traditional study abroad experience, but we are also big on the service immersion trips. Being a Catholic university, some of those core values that we really follow are serving the dear neighbor and giving back. So those are opportunities that you can have, week-long opportunities to do service immersion trips, whether those are domestic or international. One last thing I do want to mention is all of our students are participating in some kind of internship. Again, whether that's in a hospital, whether that's on campus, off campus, every student's required to do at least one. And then the other important thing to know is 100% of our students, if you are accepted to Regis, you are receiving some kind of merit scholarship. So we are doing what we can to make it as affordable as possible for you. We are a common application school. So to apply, we just need your common application, a letter of recommendation, your high school transcript, and you're automatically considered for any of those scholarships that we offer. This up here as well.
All right, thank you so much, Vicki. We appreciate it. Up next, we have Rutgers University. Good evening, folks. Let's get this started. There we are. Wonderful. Well, good evening. My name is Susan Mikowski, and I am the Director of Undergraduate and Transfer Admission at Rutgers University. I am not the representative for students from the state of Florida. So at the end, you'll get the slide of your contact. I have one counselor who is dedicated to assist you throughout this process. And I hope tonight, if nothing else, you see that Rutgers is a very personal place. So we are a small, private liberal arts school located in central New Jersey. We are approximately an hour from New York City and about 45 minutes from Philadelphia and 15 minutes from downtown Princeton. So really in the heart of it all, lots of accessibility, great little neighborhood for you to be part of, but then have the ability to get to two major metropolitan areas in about an hour. We are a smaller institution. We have just around 3,600 students on campus. And as you see, they're coming from approximately 36 states and 53 countries, as well as 2 US territories. So you will be in class with students from anywhere and everywhere, all different backgrounds, all different walks of life. 1 in 4 is a first-generation college student, and we do believe in a lot of good personal attention. So you are a name and a face when you are at Rider. You're sitting in small class sizes and getting that personal attention from truly the faculty that are experts in their field. You are not taught by teaching assistants or graduate assistants. So we want to make sure that you are known and that you are successful. And we believe that that happens because you're connecting directly with the faculty. The majors of study that we offer are housed in 4 different colleges. We were founded as a college of business in 1865. So first and foremost is our Norm Brodsky College of Business, which is dual accredited through AACSB, which is very important to us to have that dual accreditation because only about 3% of schools internationally do. So you'll see there's a lot of offerings under business that are an option for you. We have the highest accreditation for our College of Education and Human Services. So for students looking to teach, we're definitely a great setting for you. You'll do approximately 850 hours of practical teaching before you ever graduate. So lots of great hands-on experience. And then we have our Westminster College of the Arts, which houses our School of Fine and Performing Arts, where our BFA programs in musical theater and acting live, as well as dance and dance science, and you name it, as well as our Westminster Choir College, which is the only choral school of music of its kind in the country for students looking to focus on music education or the performance majors in piano, organ, or voice. So very unique. And then there's our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, where a lot of other studies, majors of study are located. So everything from our physical sciences to the social sciences like criminal justice and political science to things in our communications and journalism field. So a lot of opportunity, but you don't need to know what you're studying when you apply. You'll have until the end of sophomore year to make that decision. We do believe that students are learning inside and outside of the classroom. So we ask that you engage in your program of study, as well as other areas to build yourself as a whole person. So all of our students are required to intern or do field experience or research before they can graduate, as well as the other the other 5 opportunities here on the screen with our Engaged Learning program. So you will graduate having done community service or studied abroad to really build yourself as a whole person. And for those of you, once you do graduate, 9 in 10 of our students are employed within 6 months of graduation, but we do invest back in you. And the Cranberry investment speaks to that. For the students who may not be employed within 6 months of graduation, you can return to campus and pursue either a paid internship or additional coursework free of charge in order to get yourself prepared to then be employed following all of that. We're a Division I university, 10 men's and 10 women's D1 athletics, as well as 18 college club teams, intramural sports, and 150 other clubs and organizations. So everything from the arts to esports to pretty much you name it, we have it, lots for you to get involved in. So definitely take advantage of that. Some of the deadlines at Rider, things I'd like to point out, we are an early action school, but we also are a single application deadline for our BFA programs of musical theater and acting, and that is November 15th of your senior year. We are a Common App only school, so that's the only application that we offer, makes it very easy on the students as you go through the application process. The average student that's admitted to the institution is a high B+ student. So we're looking for students that tend to come to us with about a 3.4 on a 4.0 grading scale. We are test optional, so you can decide whether or not you'd like to submit those test scores to us for review, and we will consider you for admission as well as scholarship, regardless of your test scores. Our scholarships are all automatic, except for the 2 full tuition scholarship options. One is housed in our College of Business and is a competition for entrepreneurial students. The other is the Trustee Scholarship, which is offered to 10 students a year and is the equivalent of full tuition. And for students that are just from the state of Florida, those students receive an additional $3,000 towards your housing, because obviously you're not going to be able to commute to New Jersey from where you're located. So we want to make this as affordable of an option for you as possible, factoring in that you're going to have other expenses, plane fare, winter clothes, that type of thing. And then this will be your contact at Ryder from the state of Florida. Mike is a wonderful asset, has been with us for years, and is very local to where you all are. So please do take some time to connect with him. Thank you. Thank you so much. And a quick reminder to our participants to use that Q&A function to ask questions of our schools here at any time. Up next, we have Hofstra University.
All right, thank you. Share my PowerPoint. Sorry, my computer is slow. All right. Hello, everyone. I am Courtney Sear here from Hofstra University, located in New York on Long Island. I am Senior Associate Dean of Admission here at Hofstra, which is a fancy way to say admission counselor. And I work with a multitude of our staff members who do recruit in the Florida area. So we're excited to meet you tonight. Hofstra University is located on Long Island, only about a half an hour train ride away from New York City. The biggest sentence that I like to say about Hofstra is that we are a best of both worlds university. When I say best of both worlds, I mean location and I mean size, right? So our location, yes, we're very close to New York City, but our school itself is very suburban. This fake background behind me here is our campus. There's real trees, there's green grass, there's quads, squirrels, right? But you're so close to New York City at the same time. So again, we like to say best of both worlds. You get the true suburban campus experience, but you also get the big city right at your fingertips, right next door, only about a 30-minute train ride away. Also, best of both worlds is our size. Overall, we have just over 6,000 undergraduate students on campus, which makes us a medium-sized school. That being said, our average class size is only 21 students, which might be even smaller than some of your classrooms in high school right now. So again, best of both worlds, you get the big school vibe, big school resources, all the big sports and the majors and things like that. But in the classroom, your faculty member actually knows who you are and they care that you're going to get a job upon graduation. We do offer 165 different majors here at Hofstra. I know you can't read this slide. It's very small font. We tried to cram them all in here just to show you how many there are. If you're interested in learning some more about our majors, the link at the bottom, it's hofstra.edu/majors, will show you our entire list. One of the things to keep in mind about our majors is that when you're admitted to Hofstra, you're actually admitted to all of these. So that means that you're not applying to Hofstra's bio program or Hofstra's business program. You are applying to Hofstra University and saying, I want to be a biology major, or I want to be a business major. That also means that you're allowed to mix and match across fields as much as you'd like, or switch around at any time as well. So it's not uncommon to see a student doing dance and biology at the same time here at Hofstra, or a student who said, I really liked chemistry, but maybe it's not for me and I think I want to switch to French. You know, so you are allowed to mix and match, switch around. There's no pressure to choose your major right at the moment that you apply here at Hofstra. We have a lot of fun things going on as well. We do have 21 Division I athletic teams on campus. Student favorites are our lacrosse team and our basketball team, but there are plenty to choose from. We do have club and intramural sports as well, and 6 theaters on campus. So if you like to sing, dance, act, or watch your friends do those things, there's plenty of opportunity for that as well. Outside of those, we do offer 220 clubs and organizations, and you're always allowed to start your own as well. My personal favorite at the moment is called Hofstra versus Zombies. Yes, it's weird. Half the team is a zombie, half is a human. It's a huge game of tag on campus. So if you want to come to Hofstra and be a zombie, you are more than welcome. We always encourage students to come and start their own clubs, start their own activities about the things that they think are really cool, because I promise you somebody else on campus will think it's cool too. We also offer a lot of volunteer work and community service in our general area and in New York City. We do offer guaranteed housing all 4 years on campus. That means you will always have a spot to live on campus if you want to, but you do not have to live on campus. It's completely up to you. We do offer 2 different styles of housing, suite style living and corridor style living. Again, guaranteed all 4 years, with around 80% of our freshmen last year living on campus. We love bragging about our internships being so close to New York City. Obviously, there's a lot of big brand name things right at your fingertips. We found last year that our average student had between 2 and 3 internships before graduating, quite often right smack in New York City. You see some names on the screen that you recognize, probably NBC, ABC, Northwell Health, big brand name internships right at your fingertips, right next door. From there, you're going to get a job, and I can prove it to you. We took a survey of our graduates last year and we said, hey, did you get a job upon graduation? Where are you working? How much money are you making? Tell us everything. And we learned from that survey that 93% of our graduates last year were either employed or enrolled in graduate school within 1 year of graduation. Yes, that is during a global pandemic, 93%. Before the pandemic, it was 99%. So we are very good at getting students jobs here at Hofstra, and we're confident that we're going to get you where you want to go as well. Yes, I think that comes from our big brand name. It comes from our proximity to New York City, our alumni connections around the world. But most of all, I think it does come back to that small classroom too, and the fact that your faculty members actually know you and care about you. We do offer financial aid and scholarship both here at Hofstra, with our average discount last year being around 52% and 95% of our students receiving some sort of financial aid, scholarship, or both. And on this screen, I just wanted to highlight some of the academic qualifications of our incoming class last year. As far as what we're looking for on the application, you'll see our deadlines up on the left-hand corner here, 2 early action non-binding deadlines and a regular decision deadline as well. Our average incoming GPA last year was around a 3.7. That's a weighted GPA. And we are a test optional school here at Hofstra, meaning that you do not have to submit test scores if you don't want to. It is completely up to you. There's no difference for scholarships between test optional and test sending students. They get the same admission letters, the same scholarships, the same everything. So there is no downfall to going test optional. In fact, this past year, around 70% of our applicants actually did go test optional. So it has become the norm for us. And we've done this for a very long time. So I like to say that we're pretty good at it at this point as well. Last slide, here is our next steps. Make sure to check out our virtual tour, come visit us in real life, and follow us on social media. We're looking forward to meeting you and getting to know you along the way. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Up next, we have St. John's University.
Great. Let me just get my PowerPoint up and we'll get the show on the road. Awesome. All right, so hi everyone, my name's Jonathan. I'm one of the admission counselors at St. John's University. A little bit about me, I've been with St. John's for about 8 years now, and I'm also a double alum, so I have 2 degrees from the university, so I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to being a student at St. John's, but also what we're looking for in an application. So I'm going to talk really generally about the university, give you some background information about St. John's, and then we'll get into the admissions process and what it looks like. So really, before I go any further in the presentation, there's 4 things that you should know about St. John's, and these are the 4 parts of our university mission. They kind of make us up as a school. So the first part of our mission is we are a Catholic university. If you couldn't tell by the name St. John's, we are a Catholic school. No, you do not need to be Roman Catholic to go to school at St. John's. Only about half our student body identifies as Roman Catholic. So it's a great mix of different religions on campus. But being a Catholic school means we take a lot of personalized approach to education, which you probably heard from Regis and from all the other private schools that are here today, that personal approach that we have. We're also a Vincentian school, so we're founded by the Congregation of the Mission, which follows the teachings of St. Vincent de Paul. So you'll see his picture there. St. Vincent is the patron saint of Christian charity. So a big portion of our identity focuses on how do we give back to others? How do we take advantage of everything that we're learning in the classroom to make the world a more equitable place, a better place for everybody? The third part of our mission is we're a metropolitan school. So we're located in New York City. We actually have multiple campuses throughout New York, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So we take advantage of what New York has to offer. But we recognize New York is a great city, but there's also a lot going on outside the New York area. And we're actually a global university. St. John's operates multiple campuses abroad, and I'll talk about all those locations in a little bit. So really, if you remember 4 things about us, this is kind of who we are in a nutshell: Catholic, Vincentian, metropolitan, and global. So just to give you an idea of where exactly is St. John's located. You said you're in New York City. Does that mean Manhattan? Does that mean one of the other boroughs? So we're actually located in 3 of the 5 boroughs of New York City. So what I include is the picture of the New York City subway map. It gives you a better idea of where in New York we actually are. So our main campus is located in the borough of Queens, which is right there on the right side of the map. It's right off the E and the F subway line. We're located right between both airports, LaGuardia and JFK Airport in New York, so very easy to get to, but we're a traditional college campus in Queens. We have another campus on the North Shore of Staten Island that you'll see on the left side, kind of corner of the screen, and that's also a traditional style college campus. We have a third campus on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, which is right next to NYU and Cooper Union. And that's what we call a vertical campus, which is a fancy word for a building in Manhattan where our business and insurance students can study. So that's New York. A lot going on in New York. We also have 3 campus locations abroad in Europe. So one of our campuses is located in Rome, another one in Paris, and then a third one, which is a partnership in Limerick, Ireland. So quite a lot of different places to study with St. John's. The great thing is when you study at one of our campuses in New York, you can actually go abroad for the same cost in tuition. So that's something I'll point out as scholarship, financial aid, everything travels abroad with you to study abroad in Europe. So this just gives you an idea of what does the Queens campus look like. This is the flagship campus to St. John's. It's where most of our out-of-state students are going to be looking to study. It's about 100 acres located in central Queens. We are a gated community, which means a fence runs the entire perimeter of our campus. Very safe area that we're located in New York. And we also have residential housing available for all 4 years for students on the Queens campus. So this is where most of our students are. There's about 13,000 undergraduate students on the Queens campus. So pretty big place, hustle and bustle kind of feel. You get that New York environment, but also a traditional kind of New England style campus as well. So let me talk a little bit about study abroad. I mentioned those locations that you could potentially study in with St. John's. These are some programs that you can do. So we actually offer a program for freshmen to study abroad, which is our Global Passport program. We offer a Western Europe semester program where students study in 3 different cities while they're in Europe. So it's about 5 weeks in each city with St. John's. We have 2 Latin American programs, so one in Costa Rica and another one in Colombia. And then something called Study Exchange, which is a more traditional college study abroad program where you go to a different college and can study there and then bring those credits back. And we have connections with about 20 different universities around the globe where you can study. So quite a lot of options for you in global studies. The great news is we do have study abroad up and running right now. So even in the midst of COVID pandemic, we've been able to send students abroad for the last semester in the fall and then this semester in the spring, which is fantastic. So just to give you an idea of how big is St. John's, where do students come from, what do we got going on campus? So total enrollment, you're looking at about 17,000 total students. So pretty big place. We're actually the 2nd largest Catholic university in the US. So quite a lot of students, but it doesn't mean we have large classes. So our average class size is right around 30, 35 students, which gives you a great environment to live in. And those students are representing over 47 different states and over 120 foreign countries. So quite a lot for you to do on campus. We also have over 100 programs, and those are broken up into 5 different colleges. So you can go on our website and explore all of our different programs. Some of our most popular ones include business, pharmacy, psychology, criminal justice. You've got a lot of different options to apply to. So what I would suggest is go on our website, explore, connect with current students. I'll also put my information in the chat and you can connect with me there as well. But thanks so much for listening, everybody.
Thank you. And a quick reminder for our participants that you can use that Q&A function to ask questions of any of our institutions here during these presentations. And up next, we have Rutgers University.
All righty, thank you. All right, cool. Let's get started. Well, thank you again for having us today. It's such an honor to be here. I'm very excited to share with you about Rutgers University, New Brunswick. So my name is Israel Savalos. I am the admissions coordinator at Rutgers University, New Brunswick, and I'll be your presenter today. I'm also the contact point for this market. So if you have any questions, I'm here. All right, so Rutgers University. So I'm going to throw some quick facts at you. So we have students from over 100 countries and all 50 states represented here. We're in the top 1% universities worldwide. We are the #1 public university in the Northeast, and we're the top 25 public school in the nation. So just a couple of facts, just kind of putting, letting you know who we are. We're definitely on the radar. We're definitely known. Not just in the state of New Jersey, but also all over. Now, with that, we have a lot of different opportunities for our students. We have over 750 student clubs and organizations, a great way to get involved at Rutgers. We also are part of the Big Ten Conference, and with that, we are the #1 most diverse school in the Big Ten Conference. So we're very proud of that. And then we also, participate in NCAA Division I sports. So a big one is football and basketball. Those are some of our more popular sports that students love to go to those games. So yeah, let's move forward. So as far as location goes, it's very important, where you're deciding to go to college, especially the location, because you want to be close to major cities, right? Because a lot of these major cities have, job or internship opportunities, right? So we're about 45 minutes from New York City, 90 minutes from Philadelphia. We conveniently have a train station on our campus, so students can travel to these major cities via our campus. So it's pretty easy to navigate. Here are some of the companies that our students are either interning with or working. You've seen NBC Universal, Microsoft, PwC, obviously a big four there. So definitely a good place to be strategically. As a student, you want to make sure you're strategically placing yourself in a good location for college. All right, sorry about that. Let's continue. All right, so within Rutgers University, New Brunswick, we have what are called smaller neighborhoods. So it's very important to note we are a big campus. We have over 37,000 undergraduate students, but within the campus layout, we break it down for you, right? So here are the different campuses. We have the Livingston campus. It's probably my favorite campus, I think, out of all of them, just because I did a lot of my schoolwork there as a student. It also has a Rutgers movie theater, so it's called the Rutgers Cinema, so students can watch movies. That's pretty cool. We also have Henry's Diner. So New Jersey is known for its diners, so we have a diner right on our campus for students to try. And especially if you're out of state, it's a good way to get acclimated to the New Jersey way of life. Then the Busch Stadium, that's where the football stadium is. I'm sure you'll be there a lot. And then kind of moving quickly down here, we have College Avenue, downtown New Brunswick. This is our historic center. This is where Rutgers started. So fun fact, we're actually the 8th oldest institution of higher learning. So we were one of the first, colleges to actually start, so we're really, that's really proud of that. And again, the College Avenue area, that's kind of where Rutgers started. And then kind of moving down there, we have Douglas and Cook campuses as well. The Cook campus actually hosts our Rutgers farm. So at Rutgers, we have our own farm. It's really cool. If you're a student, I definitely encourage you to visit the Rutgers farm. Now, if you want more information on this, you can scan this QR code. Oh, I got a little dizzy there. You can scan this QR code and it'll direct you to our Explore Rutgers website. And you can really see all the different campuses from a student perspective. All right, so definitely encourage you to scan that and go to our Explore Rutgers website. All right, now some really notable and popular majors here. So biology, business, we have a 6-year pharmacy program, our doctorate in pharmacy program. We also have direct entry nursing. We also have a combined BS/DPT, which is physical therapy program that we offer at Rutgers. We also do animal science, theater arts, and education. This is going to be a 5-year program. And again, these are just some notable ones, but we do have a lot more. We have over 150 undergraduate majors. And when you actually apply to Rutgers, you're going to apply to a school. So here are different first-year schools. So you have the School of Arts and Sciences. Here you'll find like psychology, computer science, English, you name it. A lot of majors are in that school. Then we have the School of Pharmacy I've mentioned. We also have a School of Engineering as well, Rutgers Business School. Going down here, Mason Gross School of the Arts. And then we have a School of Environmental and Biological Sciences. So you saw animal science on the previous slide. So that's where you do that. And then the School of Nursing. So these are all our first year schools that we offer at Rutgers. Now, how to apply? Fairly simple, you just go on our website. So you either apply through the Rutgers application, so we have a specific application, or through our coalition application. We're also going to ask you to do a self-reported academic record. More information is found on our website. So a little bit different from different colleges. Also want to make sure you look at that. Then for SAT or ACT scores, they're actually test optional again. So they're not going to be required, but if you want to submit them, you're more than welcome to. And then there's a $70 application fee. Here are the application due dates. So we're early action school. We don't do early decision. And then December 1st is our regular decision. All right. So then if you have any questions, you can take a screenshot of this and you can feel free to contact us at any time you like. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our schools here today. We really appreciate you taking the time to share more information with our participants. At this time, we have a little bit of time for some Q&A. So I'll ask everyone to come back on the screen as we get started there. All right. So our first question for the evening is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And so we'll go in the same order.
My suggestion for somebody starting the college search process, and I say this now that we're kind of what's seeming to be coming to the other side of this pandemic, is if you are able to visit the schools you're interested in, to do so. There is just a different feeling you get when you are actually on the college campus and able to picture yourself really being a student there. I'm sure you've done several virtual tours, and that's something that a lot of schools have had to really amp up in the past couple of years. But I know personally it's been really, really nice to be able to welcome students and families back to campus. And I think that it's such a simple thing, but I think that that experience can bring a school up on your list, or it could certainly cross schools off your list. So that would be my one piece of advice.
On that same note, I would say connect with the person in the admissions office that is your person. So whether you are able to do that because you visit campus in person, or you just find who they are and you start that relationship via email or text, find out who they are so that that can be your go-to person for questions, for concerns, to help advocate for you. We all do things similarly, but we also do things differently. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right information, and you're going to get that information from your specific person at each institution. So figure out who they are and start that relationship.
I'm going to piggyback off Susan and say, get to know a current student as well. If you go on a tour, get their email address, see if you can connect with them. Maybe even ask your admission counselor if they have a student in mind that you could speak with. A lot of times, you hear from us a lot, and a lot of us have been out of college for a little bit. So it's nice to hear from somebody who's going through it right now to see what their experience is like too.
Yeah, the big important piece of advice is you probably listen to all of us talk today and you start to realize everything starts to sound the same. Like, colleges offer a lot of the same things. So really figure out, what I would say is narrow down your list of like, these are the schools that I'm actually interested in studying. These are the locations I'm actually interested in studying. I think that's what really sets each college apart, is the opportunities that they offer you. So do your research on that. And that's by talking to your admissions counselor, talking to those current students. So I'm echoing that advice as well.
Yeah, I would say definitely ask questions. We're employed, we're admissions people for a reason, right? So just definitely ask questions, contact us, whatever you need. We're here to help you along the process. We never want you to feel like you're alone during this process. That's why we're here to support you every step of the way, from start to finish, from the first day you start your application to the last day where you are admitted and you enroll, right? So we're really here to see you through that whole process. So definitely feel comfortable to reach out. That's why we're here.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Another piece of advice I'd add is to stay organized. Keep a spreadsheet. All these schools here, like Jonathan mentioned, all have a lot of similarities, and it can start to sound similar, but they all have different deadlines, different scholarship deadlines, different requirements. So keep a spreadsheet and just try to stay organized in that way as well. So that's my little 2 cents there. We'll move on to the next piece of Q&A for us here. Is, what is one thing you want students to remember about your school? So as we wrap up tonight, what is that parting piece of remembrance? We'll go in the same order.
Oh, it's hard to narrow down to one thing. I would say for those students interested in pursuing a career in health sciences in the healthcare field, the one thing I would want you to remember about Regis College is our really strong emphasis on nursing and the health sciences, and our location being so close to Boston in those Boston hospitals, and just kind of being the right near kind of the hub of healthcare.
I would say for Ryder, it's that we want to work with you as a person from this stage all the way through till well after you've graduated and you're an alum. So from truly cradle to grave, we are there for you to help in every step of the way with all the opportunities that are available through this side of things, through when you're a student with engaged learning to after with that Cranberry investment. We're just here to make certain that you are successful.
At Hofstra, we're the best of both worlds. You get the suburban location with the city next door, and the big size vibe with the small school personality, to the point that we'll know your name. You'll be texting your faculty members and maybe even having Thanksgiving dinner with them. So big school vibe, small school personality at the same time.
And with St. John's, I would say definitely New York City. If you are thinking of studying in New York, great option. Also global. So remember, great study abroad opportunities with St. John's.
I think I would say Rutgers University. It's a fun school. You know, you're definitely here for the education. You know, that's first things first. You're paying for the education, but you also pay for the college experience, right? So Rutgers, you know, great location, very close to the major cities, and you know, there's also lots of stuff to do on the campus as well. Right, going to the sporting events is definitely was my favorite thing to do as a student. But yeah, just when you're looking at universities, definitely look at, you know, what fun things can you do there, or things like that. What clubs, organizations, and at Rutgers, obviously a lot of those to choose from. So that's what I want you to remember. So yep.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. I think that's all the time we have today for our Q&A, but I want to thank all of our schools for being here today and sharing more about your institutions with us. And thank you, participants, for joining us as well. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. So we'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the schedule and sign up for more sessions. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/Central Florida. That's strivescan.com/Central Florida. Thank you so much. Have a great evening and best of luck on your college search process.